So here's how things are looking after that. 1-1 after full time, went straight to penalties as you just saw, finished 8-7 on penalties to Arsenal, who now advance to play Chelsea in January in the semi-finals. That's their half of the bracket. On the other side, it's Newcastle against Manchester City. We've got Frank Leboeuf and Julien Laurent with us. Frank, let me start with you. What's your reaction to what we saw today? And now it's Arsenal up against Chelsea.
First half, it was a very good game, and the first half was only Arsenal, I would say, but also Benitez that I seen playing against Nice at the time was already a very good goalkeeper, but he showed all his talent today against the Gunners. And the first half, Arsenal could have been 4-0. And second half, the coach, Crystal Palace coach, made some changes on the right side because Martinelli was a real danger. On top of it, Martinelli got injured. So he changed a little bit the way the Gunners were playing, and we saw Palace a little bit existing. And after all, 1-1 is kind of lucky for Crystal Palace, but it's good to see Arsenal winning because I think they deserve that win. After, let's say that the only not good penalty today, shootout, was from Lacroix. Otherwise, it's been 15 fantastic penalty shootout. And you can be a defender, you can be French, but sometimes you cannot be a very good penalty shooter.
It's incredible it actually went to penalties, isn't it, Jules? Especially after the chances that Arsenal had in the first half.
Yeah, they would have kicked themselves first to not have scored more goals, and before the own goal by Lacroix to start with, they created enough chances to do that. They should have taken it. I thought that front three, which is the B team front three, really, of Madueke, Gabriel Jesus and Martinelli, did well in terms of the intensity, everything, bringing their own thing. I thought Eze was decent too, just behind them in that kind of number 10 role. But you have to take those chances. Gabriel Jesus has been out for a long time, and maybe he's just a little bit rusty in that kind of finishing in front of goal. But they were very good, I think, for most of that first hour or so. And then they score that goal and you think, okay, this is it. They're going to see the game out. And Saliba gives away a free kick that he should have never given away, and then Lerma wins the ball, and then Guehi with the follow-up, and you think, okay, now it's typical in those kind of games when you are so much better, so much more dominant, you get pegged back and you're going to lose on penalties even in your own stadium. But Kepa made that save, and I agree with Frankie, the penalties were outstanding until the Lacroix one.
And even though it was close, Shaka, once again, it's Arsenal who are finding their way through, and they're the ones who march on.
Yeah, and listen, give Crystal Palace a due. I thought they put up as good a fight as they could, sitting on the occasion. No question in my mind that Walter Benitez was the man of the match. And then to Arsenal, yes, they're through and need to be applauded for that. Made changes to a front three. Joe's described them as a B-team front three. That's still a hell of a front three. And it kind of speaks to the depth that Arsenal can now call on, especially with Gabriel Jesus back to fitness. Kai Havertz soon to follow. Mikel Merino has filled into very good effect in those striking positions. And it speaks to, I guess, how equipped Arsenal are in going that one step further and lifting the Premier League trophy. So credit to them for that, because B-team or not, penalty shootout or not, Arsenal were fully deserving of the win.
They've got to believe they can win this competition now, Stevie.
I absolutely think so. The fact that he is able to make the changes that he did, and then he can bring on the cavalry basically when they need something to actually take that final step and win the game. So yeah, there's no question that Arteta, he certainly wants a trophy this season. He would obviously prefer the Premier League, but if it has to be the Carabao Cup, then he's obviously going for it.
How do you feel about Chelsea facing Arsenal, this version of Arsenal, Frank?
That's going to be a big task for the Blues, but we saw a few weeks ago that Chelsea was capable 10 against 11 to cope with the Gunners. So maybe they have to use that to get some confidence. But we know that the Gunners right now are the best team in the Premier League, and even if it's a Carabao Cup semi-final, you will have to accept the fact that Arsenal is better than anybody else, and surely better than Chelsea. But in one game, in that kind of game, it's possible for the Blues to surprise the Gunners, especially if the Gunners have their head somewhere, close to the Champions League and the Premier League.
What is Arsenal's best 11, Jules?
I mean, not the one that we saw today. Today was the B team, apart from Saliba and Timber, and I guess Calafiori, because White and Mosquera are out injured or were out injured, and then Nkapie, between Nkapie and Calafiori, Nkapie was the one rested, and probably rightly so, to be fair. But apart from that, from Kepa to Lewis Kelly to obviously Norgard, Eze, Merino, and that front three that we mentioned already, this is your B team. So if you want to switch to your A team, which is the one that should play against Brighton on Saturday 27th, now the next game that Arsenal have, you will have Raya in goal, you will have Nkapie coming back instead of Miles Lewis Kelly, for example, and Calafiori will go back to left back. You will have Rice, Zubimendi and Odegaard starting in that midfield three, and then you'll have Saka, Gyökeres and Trossard as your front three. Well, at least you think with the starting lineup of tonight and the B team, that should be the A team coming back at the weekend.
A word on Walter Benitez today. Xhaka, he had a good game.
He really did. And so often, goalkeeper into his 30s, he's going to be Crystal Palace's number 2. I feel some certainty about because of Henderson's form for Crystal Palace. All you can do is, when you're given your chance, make a name for yourself, stand out. And I thought he did that. And again, maybe it may not be enough for him to be promoted to number 1 over Henderson, but it may be enough for somebody to sit up and take some notice if there's a goalkeeping crisis or there's a need somewhere else. And I thought Walter Benitez did that wonderfully well. I thought Jules was a little bit harsh on Arsenal strikers. It was less poor finishing, and I thought just a brilliant display of goalkeeping.
They need all trophy they can get. I mean, when you're a big club, you want to win everything, and the Carabao Cup is a great competition. It's the third domestic competition, and it brings something special to the dressing room as well. As we have seen today, as you called, the B team players were involved, so it gives a good mood to the dressing room. And if you can get that trophy, I remember in '98 winning the League Cup, and then after we won the European Cup, the dressing room was on fire, and we were so happy to be the winners of the that wasn't called the Carabao Cup, but the League Cup at the time, and it's always good. You need all trophies if you're a team like Arsenal, but don't forget they're going to play Chelsea.
Obviously, the League Cup is the one that you can get wrapped up early if you do go on all the way to win it. What would that do for them in their title push?
Everything. It just brings more confidence, more togetherness. I mean, there is absolutely not a negative. The manager would see the only negative as more games, but the players don't look at it that way. They want to win. They want to win trophies. They want medals. And if it's the Carabao Cup, then yes, please, I'll take that medal any day of the week. And then confidence through the roof.
I think the other thing too, when you get this far in the competition, it just starts to feel differently, Listen, you understand, and again to use Jules' phrasing, putting out the B team, Maresca did similarly against Cardiff. But now all of a sudden, you're in a semi-final, and the truth is, you get to a semi-final, and if you get knocked out early enough, you think, fine, way too many games, I can do with the rest. You get to a semi-final, and if you win that semi, it's only one more game. So it almost doesn't make sense or that much of a difference to the players in getting knocked out at this stage. So you want to go on and complete it. It's one more game on your calendar. It's not that tasking in terms of the bigger picture. So all of a sudden now, it feels different to the players. And now I want to see how all four of the managers kind of approach this, because similarly, do you make changes as you did previously, or do you go stronger going forward?
You get the final say on this game, Jules.
I think the good thing for Arsenal now is that the semi-final second leg is at the Emirates, so they will have to go to Stamford Bridge first, which is okay. Frank mentioned it. We saw them not that long ago in the league for what was quite a feisty, intense opposition, and then the red card and all of that, and ended up with a draw. I think to have your second leg of that semi-final 2 weeks later at the Emirates, as we saw tonight, even if you go to penalties, if it's a big boost to have when you come down to those two semi-finals, two legs. So I think they will have to feel confident that they can beat Chelsea over the 2 legs, especially with that second leg at home, and then go to the final. And as we said, it's the first trophy to win in England. And if you start by winning this, the confidence and the momentum that it can take you on for maybe FA Cup if they're still in it, Champions League, and the Premier League could be quite important.
There'll be a lot more talk about Arsenal on our Football Reporters pod. Make sure to go and check that out. They've done a deep dive on Victor Gyökeres and everything that's been going on with him at Arsenal this season. Check it out, ESPN FC Football Reporters podcast. Antoine Semenyo is a name that's been making the headlines again, and the biggest of those storylines today is Manchester City pushing to complete a deal for the Bournemouth forward, and the Etihad is set to be his preferred destination. Jules and Frank still with us. Jules, how close is this?
So we're only at the beginning. I was told tonight, in terms of negotiations, certainly between the two clubs, more than City and the players. But the thing with Semenyo, he's got a release clause in his contract for this January. So it's very simple, £65 million. If City are ready to pay that, there's nothing that Bournemouth will be able to do. He will be a Manchester City player if he can find an agreement with them, which looks likely. City is his favourite destination. More that he's ruled out Chelsea, who were interested. He's ruled out Spurs, who were interested. There was Manchester United. Liverpool were kind of looking at it too, in a certain way, but nothing like City. So I think unless something really bad happens, it looks to me that this one will be happening in January, and we can discuss if City really needs Semenyo right now. But I think what Guardiola likes a lot is, one, his ability to press and counter press. He's physically a machine. That there's probably more goals and assists in him than there will ever be in Jeremy Doku. As much as we love him, as talented as it is in terms of dribbling, in terms of finishing and goals and assist involvement, if you want, Semenyo is a level above Jeremy Doku, and Semenyo can play on the left, on the right. That also shows, I think, for me, certainly, that Oscar Bob or Omar Marmoush are not really anymore in the City plans. They're different type of player to Semenyo, but they had their chance. They could have probably played on that left-hand side or be the backup to Doku. But for Guardiola and City to pay that much money to go for Semenyo, very likely to play on that left-hand side mostly, is because the other two didn't make the cut.
So let's discuss that. Do City need Semenyo?
I'm not so sure they do. I mean, Doku recently has been scoring goals and playing well. You got Savinho. I mean, Oscar Bob's been injured, so he couldn't play anyway. Omar Marmoush for me is just, I mean, he's there to cover for Haaland as much as anything else. I'm not so sure they need him. And I've got to say, the first thing that came into my head when Jules kind of intimated that Semenyo wants to go to City, I'm thinking, Semenyo's not a guy that turns around and goes backwards. He's not a guy that does that. I mean, we've been wanting City to be more direct and take more chances going forward for the last 3-4 years. Semenyo does that, but is that really what Pep wants? I'm not so sure.
Frank, why did you say why then?
Yeah, because why do they need him? And it's when Stevie was wondering that Semenyo would come to Manchester City, and why Pep Guardiola wanted him, and really why? Because that's the thing. I put myself on Semenyo's feet, and I say, where should I go? And it's terrible for Semenyo. Nowhere in the first teams like Manchester City, Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea, Aston Villa, they don't need him. That's terrible to say. Yeah, he can be a plus. For sure he can be a plus. He's a fantastic player, terrific one. But they don't really need him. That's what it is. So if he's to be on the bench because you have to settle down to compete against Doku, well, as Stevie said, I like Doku. He scored goal. He was the first that I would put in the list right now if I'm Pep Guardiola. So why do you want to leave Bournemouth to be on the bench for bigger club, but to not play? That's my concern about him, because that guy needs to play. He's a terrific player. He should play somewhere, but maybe not at the top of the Premier League.
So the word is, Jules, that Liverpool and Manchester United remain interested. Is that true?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, with Chelsea and Spurs, I think he's highly rated by the top clubs in the Premier League.
So with that in mind, and with if you want playing time and you've got this ambition, which apparently he has to win silverware though as well, where are you looking at going?
Right now, I think Liverpool have the greatest need, given injuries and, well, I mean, I know at some point Mo Salah's going to come back from the Africa Cup of Nations, but given Liverpool's poor start to the season and the need for that attacking threat, I think that's an easy fit for Semenyo, especially if you're thinking of winning silverware. I understand Manchester United's continued interest. I think he gets into that team every bit as easily, and then it becomes a question of, well, who do you see as being more likely to win silverware or win silverware sooner between those two? But I'm with most of the guys here. I just don't see. The City link to me doesn't make an awful lot of sense. You've got Foden looking back to his best, Cherky continuing to get better. So when you think of where he comes in and those wide areas, Doku continuing to improve. Savinho, who was wanted to leave and there was interest in his summer, but Pep Guardiola convinced him to stay, and now, so is he the one to miss out? It's just so many players in those attacking positions that Pep Guardiola has at his disposal. I'm not sure that Semenyo going there fits in as easily as Jules is saying. I don't think he gets ahead of Doku as easily as Jules is saying. So if I'm Semenyo and I'm looking at this, I'm looking at the options I have, and I'm thinking, where do I get in and get in easily and be fairly consistent starter, and there's a realistic chance of lifting silverware sooner rather than later. Right now, for me, that's Liverpool.
I mean, the place you could say, where do I get in easily, is Man United. But you're not going to Man United ahead of the other teams. And Liverpool is absolutely perfect for them. I mean, whether it was Diaz before he left, you've got Gakpo on the left, you've got Mo Salah on the right. They're all about going at defenders and running at teams. That's not Man City. Yes, you see sometimes Savinho doing it, and yes, you see Doku going at people in the box. But up until that final third, it's about possession, it's about keeping the ball, it's not about going at the opposition with pace. That's what suits Semenyo. So I'm with Shaka. I think Liverpool's his best spot.
Yeah, let's not forget, this is Pep Guardiola we're talking about. And as we've seen in the past, Marmoush, I think, being probably the best example just a year ago or so, pretty much, of this guy was doing really well. City were maybe not completely clicking. Same with Kusanov at the back, and they go and spend 200 million for 3 players in January, and those players are nowhere near the first team right now. Vitor Reis, Kusanov and Marmoush arrived a year ago in January last year, January 2025 this year, but a year ago, and they're nowhere near that first team 11 right now. Sometimes they don't even make the bench. This is Manchester City and Pep Guardiola through the last 10 years since he arrived. We all know this. And Semenyo, whether we think he's better than Doku or not, or can play on the right hand side, which is true, is just another option for Guardiola. It's an expensive option at £65 million that might not play every single minute of every single game, but this is what Guardiola does. So those expensive signings that he's made, so many of them, even if they don't play that much. So it's just another option. I think City were certainly more keen than Liverpool, for example, and pushing it already further with Semenyo's agent than Liverpool have ever done so far. So that's why I think they've got the advantage. But I'm not surprised really that Guardiola and City want him, because again, I think there's a lot of his abilities that will suit City right now, especially since Pep Linders has joined the technical staff. But all the points that we've also made with the boys are also very valid. Do they actually really need him?
Would you like to add anything, Frank?
Yes, Stevie said that I would be that he was very rational talking about Semenyo going to Liverpool. Well, if you are the board of Liverpool spending 400 million last summer, do you really want to spend 65 other million to see maybe somebody suiting the team and the Arno Slot tactic? I think they won't take the risk. I really think that they won't take the risk. They spend enough money to make sure that Slot can deal with the player that he had in charge and in disposal. And Semenyo, I don't see Semenyo coming to Liverpool. I mean, we don't see Liverpool spending lots of money. This summer, or last summer, they spent crazy money like we never seen that. It doesn't work. So do you really think that they're going to spend other money? I don't think so.
To that point, and I'm with Stevie here. I mean, while you're right, Frank, Liverpool spent an awful lot of money last summer. all of a sudden 6 months on, we're not really quite sure whether Mo Salah is going to be where he's going to be playing come the end of January. We know for sure that Alexander Isak is out. As much as Arne Slot is saying for a few months, I have my suspicions that he may not contribute significantly till maybe right at the back end of the season at absolute best. So now there's a need. There's a need in a season that things have kind of, despite the spending, or maybe because of the spending, have come apart quite quickly.
Yeah, they need him now, and they need him for the future. Mo Salah, I mean, I honestly believe that Mo Salah will be gone in the summer. They can't afford to let him go right now. And Semenyo can come in now and play. And you look at all the signings, yes, right now, things are not going well for anybody, pretty much. But then you've got to look, what we're going to be talking about in 12 months' time, 6 months' time at the start of next season. You know, this will not continue, how bad Liverpool are. And Semenyo is the future. If you sign him now, and it might sound, okay, they spent a lot of money, but 65 million, let's be honest, they could probably recoup most of that if they sell Mo Salah in the summer to Saudi Arabia. So, to me, absolutely, go and get Semenyo.
Okay, so that's Antoine Semenyo, but we must talk about Bruno Fernandes as well, because meanwhile over at Manchester United, they know that they will be without such a key player to their team, Bruno Fernandes, for at least a little while. What's the latest on it, Jules?
Yeah, we believe a few weeks. It could be up to 4 weeks, I think, a month. And it's the worst time, obviously, to get injured because the festive period is so busy. United are playing on Boxing Day. It's the only game that we have on Boxing Day. Then you play again on the 30th. Then you play again on the 3rd. Then you play again the week after that. Then there will be the FA Cup. As you see here, the schedule. And in what usually 4 weeks could mean just missing 4 games, for example, because they're not in Europe. Then you look already at a whole month from, let's say, the 22nd to the 22nd, and it's not just 4 games, it's potentially 8 games that you could miss out. So it's a lot when you know how instrumental and important he is to this Manchester United team. The fact that, yes, there's a transfer window, but we're not really sure exactly what United are going to do in this transfer window. Certainly, it's not now that you spend 100 million on Wharton or Anderson or Baleba, whoever is the midfielder that you want, that you need badly to strengthen your midfielder and maybe push Bruno a bit higher up on the pitch. That's not going to happen in January. So at the time where you need him so much and so badly, that's when he's going to be missing.
Yeah, there will be more on Bruno Fernandes coming up on tomorrow's show, so make sure to join Dan and the team on ESPN FC on a festive edition tomorrow. Alexander Isak is facing a lengthy absence with a fractured leg. As you know, he was caught by Mickey van der Ven as he scored the opener against Spurs on Saturday. Arne Slot was not happy with van der Ven's challenge.
Yeah, this was, for me, a reckless challenge. So I think I've said a lot about the tackle of Xavi Simons, which for me was completely unintentional. I don't think you will ever get an injury out of a tackle like that, the tackle of Van der Ven. If you make that tackle 10 times, I think 10 times there's a serious chance that the player gets a serious injury.
Stevie, what do you think of what Slot's saying there?
I don't agree with him, to be honest with you. I mean, it's a last-ditch tackle. We've seen it hundreds, thousands of times. And occasionally, somebody comes out on the wrong side. I mean, that's just what it is. And we can't start talking about, well, because of the outcome, then you have to start suspending people or fining people or whatever it is.
You were saying that to Frank?
Well, I heard Frank talking about it the other day, and I just disagreed. I don't think you can't start refereeing games afterwards on the outcome. If it's a terrible challenge, then retrospectively, then the FA can look at it anyway. But this challenge for me, I think we've seen it 100 times, and unfortunately, 99 times it's okay. Everybody gets up and we get on with the game, and occasionally, that one time, somebody gets injured, and unfortunately for Isak, it was him, and unfortunately, it is a bad injury.
So it's not how Slot feels, and I know it's not how you feel, Frank. You still feel so firmly on this situation?
I never said it was a reckless tackle. I said it was a desperate tackle, and I agree with Stevie. We saw that so many times, and what I only said, and that's to express what I want. I'm pretty sure that had Isaac didn't score that goal, the VAR would have seen the tackle and would have given a penalty and a red card to Van de Ven. So it says a lot about the tackle. But do you really think the guy's going out? The guy's going out. It doesn't score. It doesn't touch. Van de Ven doesn't touch the ball. I can bet on you that there would have been a red card with the VAR. But again, what I want to go. My comment last time was more about a player.
The VAR saw it. We had VAR, and VAR would look at it anyway to see if it's a red card, and said nothing. And there wasn't a player on the field who was hands in the air, crying and screaming and running at the referee and all the things that would happen if it's such an egregious challenge.
Because there was a challenge. Because there was a goal. Stevie, because there was a goal. He would have missed the goal. I can tell you, it would have been another story. But again, you have the right to try everything. I was a defender. I tried desperate tackles and everything. And Stevie, I know you did because you were a defender too. It happened to us. I'm not punishing the tackle. I'm punishing the result of that tackle and desperate tackle. Somebody got injured, got a broken leg. He's not going to play for like 2, 3, 4 months. Maybe he will never go back to his best. There are consequences because of that tackle. And that's what I want to punish. I have nothing against Van de Ven. He's a fantastic player. I love him. But he tried something, missed it. Therefore, he has to be punished because of the result of his tackle.
Who do you agree with, Shaka?
That's the only thing I say.
I'm with Stevie on this one. I didn't think it was a foul. To Frank's point, I think even if Isaac misses a target, I'm not sure it goes any further than a goal kick in this instance. And to Frank's point, because I was discussing yesterday, I broke my leg. Well, not similarly, obviously not kicking a shot, but I broke my leg. I broke my fibula after a challenge from Dean Saunders, which I didn't think was a foul then, and I still don't think was a foul now. And the result was every bit the same. I think it's one of those things that happens in high intensity games, in physical games. That's a part of the game. That's a risk that every player kind of accepts when they step onto the park. I saw nothing wrong from Van de Ven, and this is just one of those things that we know can happen. We all hope it never does, but we know it can, and when it does, well, I'll speak for myself here, when it happened to me, you just take it as part of the game and move on.
What continues to be the reaction on the ground in the UK, Jules?
I think it's quite divided, a bit like for us on our show. I think there are people who sympathise with Slot, Liverpool and Isak in the sense that Van de Ven just catches the ankle and the leg so badly, really. And I heard a few people saying, could he have tackled the ball or tried to go for the block instead of going for the leg like he does? And he was arriving really, really fast too, by the way, and he was late. There's also people who say, like Stevie and Shaka, that those tackles happen all the time, and we don't really see this breaking leg injury that often if you think about it. So I can see really the divide. It'd be very interesting to see if VAR did look at it, and we will have our friend Howard Webb soon doing his favorite TV show to explain why calls were made, etc. Let's see if he addresses it or not. I'd be interesting to see from a referee point of view and from a VAR point of view what they saw and what they made of the tackle if they were a bit divided like us, for example.
Yeah, I think Howard Webb is Craig Burley's best friend right now. Craig had a fair few things to say recently about him on the show. Anna Slot was also asked about Milos Kerkez.
The left back position is basically the only position where you have two men available, and Milos played 3 league games for 90 minutes recently, and he had cramps and knocks, difficulty in his life. So do you consider him as a starter, or maybe you can give some rest to him?
I rested him during the week against Inter Milan, so he started in Leeds 3 times in the league, but against Inter Milan, Robertson started, and indeed I also see that even when I rest him during the week, he struggles to find the end of the game, and which is not a surprise to me, but it's indeed what's happening.
He struggles to get to the end of the game. What's he doing? Is he on a treadmill every day for 24 hours? I mean, come on. We've been playing for 4 months. He's been rested, by the way, on many occasions. No. I mean, come on. You can't kid the kidder. You just don't want to say that he's playing badly. That's all it is. You're trying to protect him, I'm guessing, because there's nothing else in that makes any sense. I mean, seriously, 4 months into the season, somebody's getting cramp all the time and they can't finish the game. If you can't, he's in the wrong job then. I mean, basically, how's he going to get through the Christmas period and then the business end of the season after January? Oh my goodness, he's going to have a lie down.
Isn't it in rugby that they only play 80 minutes? Maybe he should have gotten to rugby.
He should be, yeah. Well, right now his hands are probably going to be better than his feet, but
Oh boy.
no. The only thing I can think of is, rather than say he's not playing well, is he's having cramps and I'm resting him. That's the only thing you can say. Seriously.
Oh, just taking a look at his game log here. So you're not seeing any signs of improvement?
1, 2. He's played 4 games in 4 full games in 2 months, and he's getting cramp.
And 85 minutes against West Ham.
I mean, seriously.
85 minutes is thereabouts. 5 games.
Because he doesn't play enough. It's because he doesn't play enough. He's not fit. It's why.
Jules, where are you on this?
Obviously.
Well, I think Milos Kerkez is 42 years old, so that's why he's... Oh, hang on. He's 22 years old, and last season he played for one of the most intense teams at Bournemouth. All he did at Bournemouth was running up and down his left-hand side. This Liverpool team doesn't play with the same intensity that he had last season. Last season he had a game per week. As we've just seen on the schedule, he's been playing a game a week because he's been rested in the Champions League as well. What's going on? I just don't understand. And we don't know obviously what happened in pre-season and at the start, but how can Liverpool as a football club and as a technical staff, fitness coach, fitness staff, performance analysis, everything you want, how can they get him fit enough to play 90 minutes without struggling at the end of having cramps? There's clearly something going on that we don't understand.
Yeah, but the thing, if I may, Stevie, I have a question.
Yep.
If you ask a bad question when you're a journalist in a press conference at Liverpool, are you not invited anymore? Because when you say that kind of stupid comments, can anybody say, why are you saying that? He played only once a week, and he's tired. Why are you saying that he has cramps and he played too many games? We have statistics. We see that. So find another excuse. They cannot say that to Arne Slot. I mean, is that untouchable at Liverpool, that guy? Because they have to stop, overall, managers, they have to stop coaches to say some BS's at the end of the day, because really, that was the biggest BS's we ever heard.
Because now obviously he's set himself up to have this situation revisited and be questioned about the fitness of this player, Xhaka.
Every single time.
Yeah.
Regardless of... We are in a position now where whether he plays 90 minutes, you're going to question, can he play 90 minutes next week? If he doesn't play 90 minutes, is it because he's simply not fit enough? I think while trying to defend Kerkez, he's just opened up opportunities to be further questioned and Kerkez be further criticised. Now, to Stevie's point, I think it's a pretty simple exercise. You take a step up, you play with Liverpool now, and things are a little bit tougher. That's all. I mean, how you spin that on a slot, that's up to you. But I think in trying to defend him, in trying to spin it, he's just made opportunities for journalists to ask far more questions going forward than maybe Kerkez wants or needs to answer.
Yeah, Jules is going to struggle to find the end of the show today. I've heard he's got cramps, so we're going to let him go. That's the only reason.
Well,
it's been a long time.
4 months into the season.
He's too young.
What's he doing? Running on a treadmill?
He's too young.
The youngest of everyone. Jules, thanks so much for joining us. Franklin, stay right where you are. Our wily veteran. We'll be back on Extra Time answering your questions with Xhaka and Stevie. Check it out every single day on our YouTube channel. Welcome into the latest edition of Extra Time. We've got Shaka and Stevie, we've got Frank as well, and we've got a whole lot of questions for you guys to answer. I'm just going to pull them up right now, hopefully. Here we are.
Look at that.
I got him. Okay, let's get started because obviously we've seen some League Cup action today. Arsenal have booked their spot in the semi-finals to take on Chelsea. How important was this victory for Arsenal's momentum and confidence going forward, Stevie?
How important?
They've been getting questioned lately, haven't they?
Aye, I mean,
I don't think this changes anything.
yeah, I don't, yeah. I mean,
No.
look, when you win a game, you win a cup game, you go through to a semi-final, you start thinking about the final, Wembley, the whole thing, and so you get a lift from it. But, I mean, in terms of, just a little lift from where they are, to be honest. I mean, it's not a major victory.
As a team, I don't think it's major. I mean, it's major for Gabriel Jesus, major for Norgard, it's major for Kepa, because they don't feature regularly, so you get that opportunity, certainly in the case of Gabriel Jesus, to work towards fitness, towards a full fitness to contribute with the first team more meaningfully for the first time in God alone knows how long, given his injury history. Other than that, and like I said during the show, I think in this competition, things start to feel a little differently now that you're in the semi-final. Before that, he was like, if we get knocked out, so be it. But now you're in the semi-final, or be the two-legged semi-final, you're thinking, we might be able to win this thing. And now all of a sudden it feels different. But before that, he was like,
Frank?
It's even on the other side, I would go. It's more, they go back to the dressing room and they do, whew, we did it, you know. They play at home, and with all due respect, they play against Crystal Palace, so they were favorites, and so they should have won it, you know, in the easiest way. So it's more, we feel relieved that we won. Let's see the next game. That's it. But it's not important. It doesn't bring any confidence, and you just go on. And they're gonna play against Chelsea. That's good, but that's it.
Okay, let me stick with you, Frank. If you were in Maresca's shoes, would you take Antoine Semenyo in exchange for both Gittins and Garnacho?
Oh my God, that's a, you know, if I answer to that question, you know, the press gonna jump on me. If I, let's say that Antoine Semenyo is a fantastic player, and he has proven in the Premier League that he can be consistent and very successful. I still have question mark about Gittins. We have seen Garnacho being good, but not that good the last year, or maybe the 2 years before at Manchester United. So I will take, if I have Antoine Semenyo, I have a chance to get him in exchange to those two. Yes, I will take that opportunity. Yes.
Stevie, do you think that Liverpool can do a PSG story in the Champions League this season?
I don't believe so.
I was waiting for that.
Why not?
What's coming here?
Yeah, I wish.
No? Just not feeling it?
Not feeling it.
All right.
Have hope. You gotta live in hope, Steve.
Well, if you
Hope
play,
it kills you, Shaka.
Yes,
if you play against 9 men every Champions League game, they might have a chance. They might have a chance of hanging on.
No, that is confidence in your team. Shaka, growing up in Trinidad and Tobago, I guess you never saw snow as a child.
Nope.
So, how do you like it now?
I'm still not a fan. Snow is good when it first falls.
It looks great, doesn't
It's great.
it?
When it first falls, and then, you know, coming from Trinidad and Tobago, I'm like, whoa, snow. It's great. But then you realize, hold on a minute. It gets ugly really quickly because it gets dirty, and then it's cold, and then you have to shovel it. And I'm like, what sense is this? Doesn't make any kind of sense. And now, you know, my kids go out and they go sledding. It's freezing cold. I'm not sledding. I'm a beach person.
Yes.
Going sledding.
A beach bomb.
Well, I was giving myself a little too much credit.
Yeah. I don't know about the beach, but
that was when it first falls. I'm in my warm car. It's great. But other than that, I guess tired after 5 minutes.
No, thank you. Stevie's lovely wife Eleanor was clearing the driveway today, and he has a look on the camera and starts berating her.
Shout that out.
Give her all that. Are you not finished? I won't repeat what she said.
That's the angry raker.
Yes. Are you a fan of snow, Frank?
I'm a big fan of snow. I love the snow. Next week I'm going to the Alps to ski. I've been skiing since I'm 6 or 7 years old. But I'm married to a French Guyana lady, and she pretty much hates it like Shaka. She likes the beach as well.
If you had to describe yourself to someone using foods you would typically eat over Christmas, what would you choose and why? It's a bit of a weird
Boy,
question.
what a question that
So
is.
interpret it how you will. What are your favourite foods over the Christmas period?
Well, when I was a kid, probably when I got to about, I'm going to say about 14 or 15, because all my sisters and brothers had all left the house. So it was only me and my twin sister. So basically, my mum would give me anything I wanted. So on Christmas Day, I would still have mince and tatties. From about 14 or 15 until I was 19, when I left the house, I would have mince and tatties for Christmas dinner. Before that, I had to eat whatever else was on. But I became spoiled.
And there wasn't like a little spruce up just to make them a bit more posh?
No.
No, just mince
no.
and tatties.
Mince and tatties.
Same as every other day.
Yep.
Oh boy.
Shaka?
I don't know. You describe yourself with food.
Or what do you really like to have at Christmas time then to eat?
Pastels. So we have this, we were talking about it with Steve earlier, we've got this food, it's like a cornmeal casing and minced meat in the middle.
Oh, nice.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good. I love that. Yeah.
I think Stevie might even try that.
'Cause it does have mince, it's got a whole lot of mince.
Yeah. So you got the mince and the what?
In the, it's a
Oatmeal.
no, corn flour kind of casing.
Oh, yeah. Corn and shepherd's pie.
But it's not,
No, it's
not
sweet
corn like
kernel.
on the kernel. It's ground up. It's a corn flour, kind of like a corn flour casing, almost like a. I feel disrespectful.
Are you going to have it?
Bread, but
are you going to have it this year?
yeah, my wife and daughters were making this morning.
Can you cut me a wee bit and keep it?
No.
All right.
Frank, what about you?
Well, I will be a dessert kind of food. Like I told you the last show that I was in, the concerto. Chocolate cake. Well, it's not a cake. It's a cake, and it's square. It's like me, very square, very strict, but very soft inside, and with different layers of chocolate. And the good thing is my wife's favorite dessert, so it's all me. I'm a concerto.
Yeah, you're definitely not square, Frank. That's for sure. All right, thank you so much for sending in your questions.
Well, what about you?
I'll have anything.
You just can't get out of this. You can't get out of this. What's so easy?
What food do I like at Christmas?
Yeah, you answer that question.
It's a hard question to answer, isn't it? I like all the chocolates. My mother-in-law makes all the food these days. And that is good. Italian food.
Boy.
Yeah. So there's some posher stuff that I would be eating. Trust me.
Fortunately, none of us play for Manchester City. Otherwise, we'd be in real trouble with Pep.
Yes. We probably would be, especially Frank's chocolate. Yes, don't be putting any weight on if you're playing.
Leandro Trossard proved to be the perfect antidote to Arsenal's attacking frustrations, following Mikel Arteta's candid remarks about Victor Gyökeres. Gyökeres may have struggled to truly impress since his summer arrival at Arsenal, but over the weekend, there was finally a glimpse of what he is capable of. More importantly, Trossard showed exactly why he could be the key to unlocking the Swedish striker's full potential during Arsenal's hard-fought 2-1 victory over Wolves at the Emirates Stadium. The 31-year-old winger injected fresh energy into Mikel Arteta's side on Saturday night and helped breathe new life into the Gunners' attack. Shortly after replacing Gabriel Martinelli in the second half, Arsenal found the breakthrough. While Trossard did not directly contribute to either the opening goal or the dramatic stoppage time winner, his influence on the game was undeniable. Trossard took control of proceedings, dictating the tempo and pulling the strings down the left flank. Time and again, he dismantled Wolves' compact defensive setup, releasing Miles Lewis-Skelly into space, picking out Declan Rice on the edge of the box, and crucially, feeding Gyökeres with intelligent, well-timed passes. Operating as a creative hub, the Belgian showcased his playmaking qualities, delivering sharp, purposeful distribution. His introduction completely shifted the momentum of the match, and for the first time in weeks, Arsenal's $64 million striker briefly looked like a genuine threat. Before Trossard's arrival, Gyökeres endured a frustrating and ineffective outing in attack. In fact, the Belgian was the only player to carve out a clear-cut opportunity for the 27-year-old forward, slipping a simple yet incisive ball in behind the Wolves' backline. Gyökeres controlled the pass, beat his defender, and aimed for the far post. Wolves goalkeeper Sam Johnstone was beaten, but the Swedish striker saw his effort agonizingly drift just wide. If Arteta truly wants to get the best out of Gyökeres, then granting Trossard a more prominent role in the starting 11th could be the solution. Speaking to TNT Sports after the win, the Arsenal manager openly addressed the challenges facing his marquee signing. "It's a collaboration between the two," Arteta explained. "He was in some really good positions, but the ball didn't arrive quickly enough, accurately enough, or with the precision a number 9 needs to score." But his commitment and intention were there, and we have to keep pushing. Arteta was equally vocal in defending Gyökeres prior to the match, urging patience with the striker's adaptation to English football. "There was huge expectation because we were signing a proven goal scorer, probably with the best statistics in Europe," Arteta said. "But he's coming into a different league, the most demanding league in the world. What happens if he doesn't score in 5 or 6 games? That was the only question I asked him. How are you going to react if you don't score in 5 or 6 matches? Can you handle that? And what about the next 100 games? That's what people need to see. The sample size is still very small, so leave him alone. Let him do what he does best. Support him, and I'm convinced things will come good." That message from Arteta resonated beyond the Emirates. In the days following the Wolves' victory, the debate around Gyökeres intensified among pundits, supporters, and former players. While some questioned whether Arsenal's record signing is truly suited to the Premier League's pace and physicality, others pointed to the structural issues around him rather than the striker himself. Much of the post-match analysis focused on Arsenal's chance creation and balance in the final third. The Wolves game highlighted a recurring theme this season. Gyökeres often makes the right movements, but the service into dangerous areas has been inconsistent. When Trossard entered the match, that problem briefly disappeared. Arsenal suddenly looked more fluid, more unpredictable, and far better equipped to supply a traditional number 9. Former players speaking on television and radio were quick to note the contrast. With Trossard drifting inside and linking play, Arsenal's attacking shape became more compact, allowing Gyökeres to stay higher up the pitch and occupy central defenders. That, in turn, created space for midfield runners like Rice and Ødegaard to arrive late in the box. It was a glimpse of an attacking formula that Arsenal have rarely sustained this season. The reaction from supporters has been equally divided. While frustration with Gyökeres' goal return remains, there is growing appreciation for his work rate, physical presence, and willingness to press from the front. Many fans now see Trossard as the missing connector, the player who can translate Gyökeres' movement into genuine scoring opportunities. Internally, Arteta faces an important decision. Persisting with a front line that isolates Gyökeres risks damaging the striker's confidence, especially with tougher fixtures on the horizon. At the same time, promoting Trossard to a regular starting role could mean reshuffling wide positions and reducing Martinelli's minutes, a bold call that would not come without consequences. Yet football at the highest level often comes down to chemistry rather than reputation. The Wolves match suggested that Arsenal's most expensive signing may not need drastic changes to his own game. but rather the right supporting cast around him. If Arteta embraces that idea, Gyökeres's slow start could soon be remembered as nothing more than a difficult adjustment period. For now, the pressure remains. Goals will ultimately define Gyökeres's Arsenal career, and patience in North London is never unlimited. But with Trossard offering clarity, creativity and calm in possession, Arsenal may finally have found the key to unlocking their striker and turning promise into consistent production.